One thing you need to understand is that the person you are right now, or the person you have been for the past however many days, however many months or years, is limiting your own growth as an individual. Some people are scared of changing. Some people don't really want to change, not truly. Some people feel like they don't want to change their current environment or habits or schedule, right? And so what ends up happening is you end up self-sabotaging your own progress as an individual. This is what I've noticed in my own life in the past, through when I was around the ages of 18 to 20. I was just playing video games all day whenever I had a spare moment. And I didn't really care about working hard, even though I was studying in a private university. I was paying for it to get in. So I came to the conclusion that after a quite harsh discussion with one of my friends, that I needed to grow up. I needed to completely change the box. I needed to discard my old self in order to create the new one, in order to become somebody better than who I used to be. And 4 years now, it's been 4 years since that very day. And what I kind of understand now, with more perspective of looking at who I used to be and what that used to feel like and what that used to look like, I remember that it had nothing to do with me wanting to do more and not going forward towards it, but instead I was occupying my time with habits and people and spending time with them, helping them, doing things that would make me seem like the most skilled or interesting or valuable person there, even though in the long run nobody really cared. I used to make, I guess you could say, the first money I've ever made online came from me streaming on Twitch and recording my sessions whenever I was playing strategy games. And I started getting known for my skill at that strategy game. The fact that I was very good at decision making, the fact that I was very good at solving problems and putting myself in risky situations and winning, pulling it off anyway. And that sure came through a lot of experience, a lot of years and years and years of just trying to figure things out in the game. And at some point I got so bored that I started trying to help people and trying to coach people how to do better at the game, because that was the only thing left to do. I was so good at the game, I could basically do whatever I wanted. And the constraints of the game were set upon my own ability to be good at it, and how the game was created in the first place. So, since I reached, you could say, the peak, I felt like there was really nothing left else to do other than teach other people how to play a game. And so, it made me realize that, because I had a dream last night where it basically just mixed and mashed all of the different games I had played in the past into one sort of adventure playthrough. Very strange. The most real thing that I felt in that dream was, funnily enough, playing Counter-Strike Global Offensive, the first one, not the second one that's out now. And fighting off an entire enemy team all by myself. And that dream made me go back to who I was before for a second and think to myself, you know what? Seeking improvement is good, but in that said video game, I saw so much improvement and so much perfection that the only thing left to do was help the people do better. And nobody really cared that much as I did. So I never really felt satisfied. So what ended up happening was I ended up limiting my own growth because I was looking for people that were looking for help, that were looking for guidance in an unending strategy game full of things to do. Thousands and thousands and thousands of hours. And so I get to the point where I'm actually limiting my own growth as a character by keeping myself playing that video game and trying to teach other people how to play it, because I didn't want to feel like all of the time I had invested into the game itself was for nothing. I think it's called the time sunk cost fallacy. And basically it's when you've invested a lot of time into something and you don't really want to give it up, because otherwise your mind feels like, oh, you've wasted all of your time. So your mind makes up excuses to invest more time even though it's something stupid. This is the same thing with addictions, relationships, whatever it may be. Okay, workplaces, habits. It's related to comfort and familiarity. So I was limiting my own growth as an individual by the simple fact of me playing the game and trying to find a way to make it work. Just to make it work, like, if only I could just teach other people how to do it. And I liked helping people, so it fit perfectly. So I would go on Twitch and I would spend hours. Like, I had 3 monitors. I'd have Discord on this monitor, I had the game on this monitor, and then I had somebody else's stream on this monitor. And so in the stream, I would talk to people in the chat, and then I would play the game on my first monitor, and then I would check the other monitor on the left with Discord, where I had chats open whenever I was helping people in there. And then on the other side, I was responding to the streamer, and I was listening to him, giving him advice. And then once his stream ended, I would pull up another one. And then once his stream ended, I'd pull up another one. And then I would just do that over and over and over and over and over again. And sure, you could say that I've wasted a lot of time doing that, but I think that time wasn't entirely wasted, because it allowed me to develop the character that I am today. It developed a few key skills of, not only do I like helping people, but also I love perfecting myself and trying to do what's best and trying to become the best at something, being a perfectionist. And the other thing is persevering, is putting yourself in a shit spot and figuring out how to make it work, taking more risks, making it work. And this has completely transitioned into my business. 4 years, this was 4 years ago, and now, 4 years later, I'm 24 years old and I've already started my own business. I'm semi-successful, I'd say not great. I definitely am not very satisfied with what I've accomplished so far. It's not enough. And I don't think it'll ever be enough. But that's fine. Because what I want to do is I want to find something that, I don't know how many years I spent playing those video games. A lot. Maybe like 12 years, something like that. 12 years playing video games, trying to be the best at it. If I actually invested that into growing a business, I could probably get to a very, very, very good point. Very, very good position. And so it made everything clear that all of the skills and all of the habits and all of the things that I'd learned while playing the video games, sure, maybe the mechanics of the game itself weren't very useful anymore, but, and like the knowledge of knowing which unit is strong against which other unit, but the strategies and the mindset that I developed while playing those video games is the number one thing that has helped me transition into my business, the same kind of perseverance in order to do better, in order to achieve something greater than myself, something better, something more. I put in my bio on this channel, do better. Because that is basically the ethos of what I want this channel to be. I want to make videos to incite people to do better based on the lessons that I've learned. Because if everybody can learn from people that are more advanced than each other, this is what I've done. I've learned from people that are above the ages of 30, 40, 50, 60. I've learned from them because they have more life experience than I have. And so they have valuable lessons that I can learn and I can pull from and I can then apply to my own life. Because by doing that, I save so much time. I save so much time learning the things that actually matter before pragmatically learning them. So what ends up happening is when you learn from people that are better than you or that have more experience than you or more knowledge or more wisdom, you get to progress that much faster than everybody else. Instead of figuring out how to reimagine creating fire, you get to learn from the person that already has done it before, and it takes like a couple minutes. Instead of taking you years to figure it out, or months, it takes you a couple minutes. Very easy. And so you need to think for yourself, what are the things in my life right now that are limiting my growth as an individual? Because if there are things that are limiting your growth as an individual, why don't you want to face them? Why don't you want to make it better? Why don't you want to live a better life, a more fulfilling life? Why not? Are you scared of something, someone, some reaction? Are you not sure you're going to be able to pull it off? Are you uncertain? Do you feel you don't really believe in yourself? You know, these are the things that I thought about the first time I actually looked at myself in the mirror and tried to really figure out why. Why am I so lazy? And I came to some interesting conclusions. A couple of them I've already mentioned throughout this video. And to be perfectly honest with you, it is perfectly fine not having what you want right now, because it is going to allow you to pull energy from your own mind in order to say, I want this so bad that I'm going to work my ass off over years and years and years and years in order to get it. And I'm willing to sacrifice myself, my past self, in order to grow into the phoenix, kind of like the phoenix analogy, where he sacrifices his previous past self And from the ashes of that past self, he grows and he comes back to life as a new, better version of himself. And so you need to kind of embody this if you want to become a better person. You need to sacrifice the old habits, the old people that you've been talking to, that you need to let them go, that aren't helping you do better, that are people that are pulling you down, that want you to stay with them. This is what I used to have. I used to have people that I used to play video games with all the time, a community of like dozens of people. And I had to delete all of them for the most part, most of them, like I'd say 90 to 95% of them, because they wanted me to play video games. So every day they would come in my DMs and say, hey, let's play this. Hey, let's play this. And I had to remind them, no, I am working to do better. I am growing my business. I am learning a high income skill. I want to retire my family. I do not want to live in poverty with games to play. I do not care about that. And I do not want to live a life where I am obligated to slave away in order to have enough money to pay the rent. I want to build something that is self-sustaining so that I can then do what I want to do. I want to live a life where everybody around me respects me for what I've done and for who I am and for what I can provide. I want a life where everybody trusts me to come to me with their biggest problems so that I can help them solve them. Because where I pull out the most satisfaction from is having self-respect, having self-esteem, having integrity, helping others do better, even though there might be a tough conversation in there. And then growing as an individual, doing what's best, doing what's right, doing what's just, and doing what's fair. And that's all I have to do. And that's all life is actually worth living for, to be perfectly honest. That's what I think. I don't really believe in anything. I understand belief has a place in society for different individuals, but personally, I understand how the world works, and the only thing I believe is in myself. Because I know I can do things. I know I can get shit done. I know I can push forward. Because I am capable, and I have proven it to myself time and time again. And you can do the same thing. I'm not some exceptional person out of the blue that just appeared and that is God-given or that is blessed by the heavens. No. I am a human that was born with a list of things that most people have. A set of cards of things that I have. And I just get to use them as best I can, as efficiently as possible, with the information I have at my disposal and the guidance of other people around me. And that's it. Very simple. Just remember that if one man can do it, another man can do it. If one man can do it, another man can do. Very simple. So take some time today to really think about what is limiting your growth as an individual right now. What are the relationships that you think you really need to cut off? Maybe it's an ex-girlfriend you need to block. Maybe it's your toxic relationship you need to completely break off. Maybe it's people that don't like you and that would stab you in the back at the first opportunity they get. Maybe it's stop playing those video games. Maybe it's stop watching those TV shows or watching those movies or entertaining yourself all the time or distracting yourself, watching those videos on YouTube. Maybe it's you stop scrolling on Instagram or TikTok. Maybe it's changing countries. Maybe it's completely changing houses. Maybe it's completely changing your environment. There's a lot of things to look at. So I urge you to look at them and think for yourself, what do I need to get rid of? What do I need to sacrifice in order to become the person I want to become? And if you haven't defined that, I urge you to define it as well. And with that said, thank you guys so much for watching. I post videos every single day on this channel, so if that's something you're interested in, to do better as a man and to become more respected out there, like, comment, and subscribe. And with that said, I will see you in the next one tomorrow. See ya.